Good morning. Welcome to all of you. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. Beautiful Sacramento day. My name is Senator Bill Monning. I represent the 17th Senate District in Central Coast area of California. It's indeed my honor this morning to introduce and publicly share SB 994. I'm going to be making a very short statement, and then there'll be a few other speakers this morning, but first I want to identify those that are gathered here behind me, some of whom will be speakers, others who are here as resource folks. And I'd ask you just raise your hand as I read your name so people know who you are in the group. Alice Bisno with AAA of Southern California. John Nielsen, AAA National Director of Automotive Engineering. And John will be available for any technical questions about the vehicle that's here today and the technical systems that are now in new vehicles. Cynthia Harris with AAA of Northern California. Chuck Wallace with Automatic. Christopher D. Jimenez E. West, a consumer who will be speaking to you later. Bud Rice with the California Automotive Business Coalition. And I think we have somebody with us from the Latin Business Association as well. Welcome. And our car, I don't know if our car has a name. We'll call her Bessie for purposes of today's press conference. Again, welcome. Thank you for being here. Californians are entering a new era of car buying, where vehicles have now become the ultimate mobile computing devices. These connected cars are now equipped with navigational, infotainment, and diagnostic technology that can interact wireless with personal devices and the internet. It is estimated that 1 in 5 new cars sold this year will be a connected car, and that number will grow to all new cars by 2025. The information these onboard technologies produce and transmit can range from diagnostic data to detailed information on where a consumer visits or how they drive their car. Car owners currently have no access or control of the personal information their own vehicles generate, and it is for this reason that I've offered the Consumer Vehicle Choice and Control Act, which will put the power back in the hands of the consumer. Senate Bill 994 will require that anyone who buys or leases a car in California be notified of what information is collected, be allowed access to that information, and to have control of where the information is directed. This legislation will establish common sense safeguards for consumers and will recognize that it is your car, it is your data, and it should be your choice. I'm going to now introduce Alice Bisno with the AAA of Southern California. We'd ask that you hold questions till after our complete array of, I believe, 4 speakers. Then we'll open it up to your questions and comments, and we'll also be glad to stick around after we conclude to do one-on-one question and answer with you. Again, thank you for being here, and it's now my honor to introduce to you Alice Bisno with AAA of Southern California. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Monning. I am Alice Bisno. I'm with the Automobile Club of Southern California, and we are so appreciative of the Senator for taking up this very important issue and carrying Senate Bill 994. At the Auto Club of Southern California, we believe that driving a connected car should empower the driver, not the manufacturer. Right now, we can control to a certain extent the information on our cell phone. We can control information on other devices we have. But the information in our car is not necessarily ours. And we think that the time is right now, as these cars come into the marketplace, for consumers to gain the control that they need in order to safeguard the information that they produce. We have approximately 10 million AAA members in California, over 45 million nationwide. We have surveyed our members, and overwhelmingly, they are very concerned about their ability to control the information that they produce in their vehicle. They think that there ought to be a law to make sure that those rights are respected and protected. We again thank Senator Monning for introducing SB 994. As he said, it will make sure that consumers clearly know the information that's collected. They will be able to get access to that information, and most importantly, they will be able to decide which providers they want to get services from and have that information available to those providers. I would at this point like to introduce one of those companies that could be, along with the Auto Club, one of those providers that we hope consumers will choose. Chuck Wallace from Automatic.
Thank you, Senator Monning. Thank you, Alice. I will make one attempt to put the automatic box up here, which is not working so well. Maybe there is better. So Chuck Wallace from Automatic. I think Senator Monning and Alice have done a great job of laying the foundation of the importance of this bill and what it means to consumers. So I'll just quickly reinforce that by taking a few minutes to tell you a little bit about Automatic, what we do and how we do it, and why the car information is so important in what we do and so important to consumers. Automatic is a consumer technology and services company based in San Francisco. And for decades now, automobiles have been the most expensive computer that consumers have owned, and unfortunately the only one that they really can't access the data within. So Automatic instantly changes that for virtually every car on the road today. So how do we do that? For $99 and no subscription fee, any consumer can buy an Automatic, the Automatic Link, which is this little device here. You plug it into the onboard diagnostics port, which is in every car in the United States since 1996, and it instantly unlocks that car, makes it a connected car, and provides the rich information, part of the rich information inside that car to consumers. And that really empowers consumers in a lot of different ways. A few of those are, with that information, we can help consumers be better aware of how they drive, how much gas they're using, change their driving habits if they like to save gas, be safer, and we save thousands and thousands of gallons of gas a day and hundreds of dollars for consumers over the course of the year in their gas bills, which also helps the environment and helps all of us. Another way is through helping consumers better understand why that pesky check engine light has come on in their car. So when that check engine light comes on, because of the information we can access in the car, we help them understand what that means. We provide them the information that they need to better talk to their mechanics and decide whether to go to a mechanic, fix it themselves, and which mechanic that they want to go to. And again, we've saved thousands of consumers tens of thousands of dollars in repair bills and given them a lot of choice there. And so what we're doing right now for consumers is just the tip of the iceberg. We can access a limited amount of the information inside the car. And as SB 994 becomes active and is passed, and more of that information is exposed to consumers, what we can do for them just becomes more and more powerful. And that's why it's so important what Senator Monning is doing with this bill. So in closing, I'd just like to say thank you again and take this opportunity to introduce Chris West, who has a personal story of his own. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Christopher Jimenez, U.S. I'm a professor of history, community college. And I'm just the typical soccer dad who's got a 2006 Toyota Prius that during what would be the holiday break, I get a warning light. And of course, I've got to go to a soccer tournament, so I've got to figure out what's going on. Take my car to the local mechanic, and his response is, sorry, I can't give you that information because I don't have access to it. So then I go to another one, and the mechanic says again, I'm sorry, I can't give you that information, I don't have access to it. So I check with the dealership, and the dealership says to be able to even access the information, it's going to be $135. It's a durable good that I've just purchased. Why don't I have access to that information? So for me, the story is extraordinarily personal. It is, I have a vehicle, I purchased it, I need to have access to take my kids to soccer, to basketball, to baseball, all the stuff that they get involved with, and I don't have access to the information. It's a modern car. It's a modern vehicle. And I think that as a consumer, I should have the right to all the information that it provides. And I think that information should be mine. Very simple story. Appreciate your support. Turn it back to the Senator.
Well, I want to thank Chris and all those who spoke in support of SB 994. We're glad to open it up to your questions now. I would just underscore this bill is very simple. It's designed to protect a consumer's right to know and a consumer's right to control the data that we own. If we buy a modern vehicle, we own that vehicle, we're making payments on it. It should be our right to direct who has access to that information or who doesn't have access to that information. So now we welcome questions you might have. Would you please identify yourself and your media outlets? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Senator Monning. Jeremy White with the Sacramento Bee. Why do consumers need access to this information? Don't they already know where they're driving?
Well, it's a fair question, but I think as Mr. West both commented and the earlier speakers, there's an array of possibilities of when I want to be able to direct that data. As Mr. West said, if I have a car problem, a red light on the dashboard, I want to be able to take that to a repair service that, with my authority, they could access that data to make a repair. Similarly, if I have a problem on the road and my roadside service is able to come, I want them to be able to access data to help get me going again and perhaps protect the safety of myself and my family. Here, and then we'll come over there. Thanks.
I have an older car that I take to an independent garage that specializes in that make, and they have accessed all that information, and they pay the manufacturer some fee, and they have access to it. Doesn't that take care of the situation? I'm sure they pass part of the cost on.
Right. I think the key to your question is an older model car, and as the cars become more and more sophisticated, there's more and more layers of technology, some of which might be accessible by a repair service and some of which aren't. We just want to establish the fundamental principle that as the owner of the car, you should be able to direct who has access to that information.
What if I just buy an automatic? Does that take care of it?
When you say an automatic,
This thing that Mr. Wallace showed us.
yes. So that helps capture certain information that can help with driving habits, as I understand it, and provide information that helps you. Again, if I buy that automatic device, I should be able to direct the manufacturer of my vehicle to allow that device to access the information I want it to access.
Senator?
Yes.
Mike Lurie with KCRA 3. Who's currently mining this data? Is it being used for marketing purposes or turned over to law enforcement, or where's it going?
Well, it's a fair question. So we think we're kind of on the frontier of trying to get ahead of the technology revolution on this. Currently, the main controller of that data is the manufacturer of the vehicle. My bill protects certain established safeguards. It protects proprietary trade secret information, but it anticipates the greater potential of sharing information, the greater, as we have different systems from navigation systems to phone systems, different vendors potentially having access to that data. We want at the point of sale to make sure the consumer is informed of his or her right to be the go-to person for permission to access our data.
But do you know what they're currently using that data for now?
I'll defer to Ms. Bisno and others may want to comment on that. Currently, manufacturers do access that information for maintenance and repair, and we, as consumers, we authorize that use of the manufacturer at the point of sale. The concern is beyond that, my ability to direct that to another vendor of services if that's my choice as the consumer. And in a competitive marketplace with different applications for computers, etc., I just want to be the one who can direct or not direct that data. Let me see if Ms. Bisno may want to comment on that as well.
Actually, I'm going to let John Nielsen from AAA handle that one. It's more of a technical question.
Great. Thank you. And on the surface, one of the key things that we're talking about today in this bill is the transparency to know what data is collected and what's done with it. Today, the manufacturers collect data. It's unclear exactly what they capture and what's being done with it. To the earlier point, we're early, in this. I think there's some really good things that come out of data capture, and there are some things that can be done with marketing. The most important thing is to know what data is being captured and what rights you have to protect it from being resold or used in ways that you would choose not to have it used.
Where in the bill does it say what data, the right to know exactly what data? Do they give a report?
I think the key is a disclosure in the beginning of the bill that talks about what data is captured and what will be done with it, what data your car can produce.
Can you give any sort of guarantee that that data wouldn't be used by insurance companies to, for example, raise rates?
I can answer that.
Thank you.
Yeah. My bill absolutely protects an existing firewall. It's called the black box protection. That was the subject of earlier legislation. My bill extends that, reinforces it, and that's contained now in Vehicle Code Section 9951. That covers how info derived from a black box can be used. It cannot be accessed by insurance companies. My bill does protect the right under warrant, under court-issued warrant, that under a police investigation, just as today, through a court process, that data might be accessible, but not to an insurance company.
What if the consumer decides that one of the people they want to share their data with is an insurance company?
Then that would be their choice, not the insurance company's choice or mandate.
What if it's a civil suit and I have a discovery, my lawyer has a discovery, wants to know where I was at a certain time?
Then it's a question for the court if they're going to issue a subpoena that allows that information to be gathered as a subject.
So it could be gathered in civil cases as well.
It would be subject.
Divorce case.
It'd be subject. Right. It'd be. My understanding is it'd be subject to a court authorized subpoena, not simply in a discovery process. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. We'll take one more question, then we are going to close our official press conference here, but we'll stick around for your follow-up questions. Yes, sir.
My name is Justin Masters. I use my phone and a little box like that to diagnose my car. However, California is one of the few states in the nation that restrict auto parts stores from being able to do that on demand from the consumer. They're essentially forced to buy a product similar to his or what I purchased. Do you have a provision in there that will allow auto parts stores to provide that as a service, not be classified as a diagnostic service, which the auto repair businesses don't want?
Well, again, the fundamental principle of this bill is to give the consumer the ownership authority to direct that data, not the manufacturer. Thank you all for being here this morning. We look forward to keeping you posted as the bill moves forward. And again, we're glad to answer individual questions with you. Thank you.